Today I'll be showing you why recent retirement studies keep missing the mark with their recommendations on how much you need to have saved for retirement. Over my many years of helping clients retire successfully, I've seen proof that these widely cited retirement numbers are often way higher than people actually need to live a comfortable retirement. And that's exactly why I'm making this video for you today, to show you why these new retirement savings targets are wrong and what numbers you should be really focusing on for your retirement plan. So let's get right into it here. According to a Northwestern Mutual recent study, U.S. adults believe they need $1.4 million to retire comfortably. That's a 15% increase from last year's $1.27 million target amount. And this amount could potentially generate around $56,000 per year in addition to your Social Security and or pension income. Now, I find that there are several large problems with this magic number, the $1.4 million number that I just referenced. Let me go through these problems with you right now. The first thing is that people fixate, and honestly fixate a lot, on reaching this arbitrary number, like the 1.4 million, without really understanding what their true specific needs are for retirement. You see, retirement savings numbers are very specific from family to family or from person to person, and so you should really have them specific to your situation. And these targets, honestly, they can go up widely from year to year, just like we saw that 15% increase. And that right there can cause anxiety for people. I think that life is stressful enough, from your job, to your family, to your health, to your budget. Everything causes stress in your life. The last thing you should be worrying about is your retirement savings and this arbitrary number. And these numbers really are way too generic. And they ignore your individual spending habits and the realities that you're going to face inside of your retirement. Because where you live and what you want your lifestyle to be like in retirement can drastically affect how much you need. You see, retirement isn't about having a certain amount of money saved or your magic number. It's about having enough income to live the lifestyle that you want to live. This is exactly what I talk about in my book, The Red Zone Retirement Plan. And inside of that book, I'll teach you the Red Zone retirement planning process, which will help you find your exact number that you need to have. Next, I want to move on to some common beliefs that I believe are really wrong about your retirement savings numbers. Here's the first belief that a lot of people that I meet with have. The belief that you need to replace 100% of your working income in retirement. That is completely false. From what I see with the clients that I work with, it's usually about 80% of your pre-retirement income that we need to replace for your retirement. The next false thing that I think is really wrong here is that everyone needs the same amount to retire comfortably. Again, that is completely false, because if you live on a coastal state versus a Midwest state, your cost of living is probably going to be a lot lower in the Midwest than it is on the coast. In fact, if you look at some estimators on cost of living standards, some states are actually 25 to 30% less in their cost of living than other states. Taxes and your lifestyle also make a big difference here, right here as well. The third thing that I think is really wrong is that general retirement calculators can provide an accurate target for everyone. That is totally false. If you're just using a general calculator to figure out if you need that $1.4 million, those things vary widely. I just told a client about this the other day. They were coming in and they thought they needed $1.3 million to retire. And I said this: you went online for 2 minutes, typed in some numbers, and it spit out you need $1.3 million. Do you think that's really correct? Chances are it's probably not. Retirement savings strategies are a lot more in-depth than a 2-minute survey that you're going to fill out online. Now, after seeing how these general retirement numbers can be misled to people about their retirement readiness, you might be wondering where you truly stand with your own retirement preparation. Well, from what I've learned with working with hundreds of successful professionals over the years, is that people aren't struggling with saving enough. They're struggling with knowing how to make the right retirement decisions. And the truth is this: retirement success just isn't about hitting some magic number of $1.4 million. It's about understanding all of the pieces that need to work together for a confident retirement plan. That is why I've created a comprehensive questionnaire where, once you complete it, I'll personally send you a video analyzing your situations to show you exactly where you stand with your retirement preparation. If you'd like to discover how to optimize your retirement plan, just click the link below and take the questionnaire. Once you've filled out that questionnaire, I'll send you a personalized video giving you advice on how you can optimize your retirement plan. Now let's get back to the video here. Now that we know what some of these common misbeliefs are, What do these beliefs lead to? Spoiler alert here for you. If you have bad information to work with, you're probably going to be making bad decisions. So here are some mistakes that I've seen people make over the years in this industry. The first thing that people do wrong is they work years longer than necessary chasing this arbitrary number of $1.4 million, for example. The second thing that I see a lot of people do wrong is they miss retirement opportunities when they already have enough. So say they could have retired at age 55, 60, 62. They're actually working longer than necessary because they don't know actually how much they need. And the last thing is that they make retirement decisions based upon general numbers rather than their personal needs. And this can cause people, believe it or not, from working longer than they have to or working not long enough, depending on what kind of calculator they're using. So why are these general retirement numbers so wrong? Because, like I just said, it leads to overestimating or potentially underestimating your retirement saving needs. But why does this happen? Because retirement income doesn't stop when you enter retirement. In fact, you can actually generate income in retirement, which is what I teach in my Red Zone retirement planning process, from your portfolio, from pensions, and from Social Security. Retirement isn't about a specific number. It's about the income that you need. So let me tell you a real client story that I just had last month that illustrates this perfectly. So my client, Joe, is a perfect example of what I'm talking about here because the retirement savings numbers that he was looking at on his online 401k calculator were completely wrong. And his story has many valuable lessons for you about why generic targets often miss the mark. So let me intro this here. Joe, he's age 64. He's worked almost 40 years at a manufacturing plant, and he wanted to retire what he thought maybe in 2 to 3 years is kind of what he was thinking, because the calculator told him that he needed to work that long. So here's what he was doing. He believed that he needed about $1.3 million to retire comfortably. And again, that's because all of his money was in a 401k plan at work, and the calculator told him that he needed to have that much saved. So he was delaying retirement despite having $950,000 already saved up. Joe, he was very anxious about having this magic number of $1.3 million like the calculator told him. And he was also extremely worried about running out of money in his later years of life. He didn't want to run out of money. That was one of his biggest fears. He was also really worried about the cost of his health insurance because it's always been through work. And he was also really worried about not having a paycheck because he's worked forever. And he didn't know what to do when he quit working as far as getting his paycheck. So here we come in. We've worked with Joe for some time on his insurance. We helped him with his long-term care insurance for quite a few years now. And what we really started doing in our Red Zone retirement planning process is we dug into our process and we figured out that his monthly expenses were ballparked around $4,800 per month. And we did overestimate that just to be on the safe side. But he was still really about unsure. He was very worried about this, if he had enough money to last his entire life. Well, a few other things that we did. He was going to be 65 in 4 months, and his Social Security was going to be available to him at age about 66 and a half. In fact, his Social Security, that was going to cover over half of the income needs that he had. Most importantly, by the time he retired, reaching age 65 in 4 months, this is what our plan was for Joe, he was going to have no debt. In addition to that, he already had his long-term care plan set up. So what we did is we created our Red Zone retirement plan for Joe. And we did a spending analysis. And we discovered that based upon his income needs, he only needed about $800,000 to retire comfortably. So just listen to me here. He had over $900,000, he only needed $800,000. He was going to be on Medicare in 4 short months. And we built a realistic budget for him. And what we found is that online calculator that we were looking at, it overestimated for him his expenses by about 30%. That's why it was saying that he needed $1.3 million. But what they didn't know about Joe is that he already had long-term care insurance. He had no debt to deal with, and he lived in a low cost of living area. That didn't take that into account, so it made Joe think that he needed $1.3 million. So once we developed that personalized income plan, he was able to retire confidently because we showed you, hey Joe, when you turn 65 here, you're going to have $4,800 per month. In addition to that, we're going to give you raises your entire life of 3%. So that $4,800 is going to increase over time. You're going to be getting a paycheck twice a month, just like when you were working. And this made Joe extremely comfortable because we took him through our entire process and we showed, hey, if you have a nursing home, stay. You're covered. If you have medical issues, you're covered. If you need a 3% raise every year because of cost of living, guess what, Joe? You're covered. In addition to that, you've saved really more than necessary. So we showed him why, and we showed him how we were able to create this lifetime income plan. In fact, he loved the fact by the time we were done that he had more than enough money to retire comfortably. He had already planned for his medical and long-term care needs, so that was taken care of. In addition to that, we had his portfolio protected from market downturns by using our lifetime income strategies that we use in our Red Zone retirement planning process. So through our process, we were able to help Joe retire about 2 to 3 years sooner than he thought possible. Needless to say, he was thrilled at this. So now that we've exposed a few of these flaws in this oversimplified retirement number of $1.4 million, or this magic number that's often referred to, the reality of retirement planning keeps surprising me year after year. After a decade of helping people transition into retirement, I've watched these magic numbers fail time and time again. Just this month, in fact, I met with several different couples, and each had reached their supposed target. Yet each had drastically different retirement readinesses. That's because their lifestyle and their debt and income needs were so different. The research numbers make headlines completely miss how personalized retirement planning is for person to person. From market conditions to lifestyle choices to healthcare needs, your retirement number should be as unique as your fingerprint is to you. If you want to see what your retirement can really look like for your specific situation, I've created a short questionnaire. Check it out below, fill it out, and I'll send you a personalized video analyzing your unique retirement readiness score. Just click the link below to get started, and I'll see you on the next video. This podcast is for educational purposes only and may include references to concepts that have legal and/or tax implications. It's not to be construed as legal or tax advice. Such information or opinions is subject to change without notice and is not intended to use as an offer or solicitation with respect to the purchase or sale of any security, insurance products, or offer of individual investment advice. Any strategies discussed may not be suitable for everyone. Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc. does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your appropriate professional regarding your personal situation prior to making any financial decisions. Securities and advisory services offered through Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Riser Insurance is not affiliated with Mutual of Omaha Investor Services. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Diversification does not guarantee a profit or protection lost against loss in a declining market. Purchase of life insurance is subject to meeting underwriting requirements. There is no guarantee of an individual will be insured. Annuities are long-term investments designed for retirement purposes. Withdrawals of taxable amounts are subject to income tax, and if taken prior to 59.5, a 10% federal penalty tax may apply. Guarantees are backed by the claims paying ability of the issuer and are subject to their terms and conditions.